Today on the channel, I'm going to show you how to play the song Can't Get Enough by Bad Company. Yeah, man, Bad Company, back in 1974, debut album Bad Company, great record. Paul Rodgers, one of the best voices in rock and roll in my opinion, and Mick Ralph, songwriter, guitar player in this song. It's hard to believe, man, 1973 was when this was written. It was their first single for Bad Company. It kind of makes me wonder if, you know, there was a 1974-73 Marshall Plexi played on this tune. But great tune. I'm going to show you how to play the verse, the chorus. I'm going to show you the guitar solo, give you some performance tips and tricks in this song as well. I wanted to show this on the channel because a lot of times I take a dive back into some of the early classic rock that I didn't really grow up with it, so to speak, but I discovered it early in my teen years in the 80s, and it's stuck with me ever since and helped me develop into the guitar player that I am today. So if you haven't heard of Bad Company or played Bad Company, I think you should visit the albums and check it out. And most of you probably know it very well. So let's celebrate. Let's do some Can't Get Enough. Awesome, awesome. So this is a C, 5, a B flat 5, and then an F. Way up here, I'm doing an F to a B flat, back to an F. It's like going... Now there may be a couple of overdubs on this song where they do the F down here, but when you listen to the record, clearly you can hear this F way up here, and his guitar is a little wobbly, you know, it's a little intonation or something's out, which I think adds to the beauty of the song. You know, not everything has to be perfect and spit shine like it is today. I could go off on a tangent, but I think that today's music is too polished and too perfect, and it's very sterile, and that's why I like this old stuff so much. But I am old, so I guess that that explains it. All right, so we got a C, C5, B flat, F5. All right, there's your beginning. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then you can go, you can play this B flat chord like this, or you can go, I always like to call this like the Paul Stanley chord, which, you know, he didn't invent that, but Kiss did. They did that all the time in their tunes, which is cool, not slamming it. So you could take your index finger up here on the 10th fret and play the D, G, and B string, and then go. So the 12th fret on the D and the 11th fret on the B string, while playing this F chord here. You go like that. That's a great way to do a 1 chord and a 4 chord. You know, like Start Me Up. Stuff like that. 316, Van Halen. It's everywhere, man. I'm just naming 2, 3 songs out of 8 million that do this. All right, so anyway, C, C5 chord. It's just got a root and a fifth and an octave. B flat, F. And a quick stab on that B flat. when I hit that B flat, I hit it and I palm mute it. Or you can go like that. Either way is fine. In fact, you could play this whole beginning with just your index finger. You could play the C like this. You could just do it like this. Or you can play the whole. Now if you want to have another part in there, you want to overdub or have another guitar player in the band, they could play the F down here and go. And stab that B flat back to that F, okay? All right, so onto the song. Now the verse, I'm gonna roll back a little bit. I've got full gain. I'm gonna roll back. And I'm gonna go. So we're going to kind of shuffle along there. Now on the record it sounds like Mick's doing just like the beginning. These 5 chords. Sometimes you can hear this major third chiming through. Especially on that F. When he does that F to a B flat. So I'm laying my hand on the strings and getting this little bit of a, you know, a rake. You can get this slide in there. Or as a guitar player, our job, especially if you're the only guitar player in the band, is to be consistent, have good rhythm, but sometimes you want to change your parts up a little bit just to keep the audience interested and sometimes just not to get bored yourself. So the first time through this verse, you may want to go. Then the second time that verse comes around, you may want to break it down. Now the song's in C major, so C major is also A minor pentatonic. So if you play the A minor pentatonic scale over this pattern, you're going to have, that's going to be your solo position for most of this guitar solo. It switches between C major and C minor pentatonic. So I'm going to show you that here in just a moment. But you could do little riffs. Which may be overkill because they really don't do that in the song, but playing it live, kind of anything goes. The key is to be tasteful and to not walk all over your singer and give the song room to breathe. It's not about you. I know us guitar players always think it's about us, and you know, it kind of is. But you have to make people believe that you believe it's not about just us, so stay out of the way. All right, and then it goes into a pre-chorus. All right, so it goes like this. Here, and then the pre-chorus is goes up to this G. Come on, come on. And then I'm going to go up to a B flat. Then go down to the F. Then stab the E flat. All right, so we're going to stick with these 5 chords. So the pre-chorus goes to a G5 up here on the 10th and the 12-12. And then you go up to this B flat, which is on the 13 and 15-15. And like I said, you can hear it kind of wobbly sounding on the record because intonation. And then down to the F and then the E flat. And that's interesting because this E flat, the song's in C major, so this E flat makes it minor just for a brief moment where it's, you know. It gives it that bluesy feel because the blues mixes major third and minor thirds, so it's ingenious. That's really a very ingenious part of the song, is he gets that E flat in there, which gives it the meat. All right, then it goes to the chorus. Now this chorus is going to be a C to an F, but I play it with my index finger, and I'm going to be alternating between C and F. This is an F chord right here. All right. Why is it an F, you say? Well, if you take a D major chord like this, that's a D sharp, that's an E, and that's an F. Now if we flesh that D chord out, we can make it like a C shape right here. Just take these parts here, and there's our F. So that's the whole theory behind going. It's like taking this A to a D, like that. It's just quick. Because essentially you could play a D major like this. But everybody plays it like this. But if you want to add more notes to it, you can go like that. So that right there is an F. So anyway, the chorus, C, C, F, C, to an F, to a B flat, to an F. Now you gotta wait, you gotta do this little pause. It doesn't go right into it, so it goes, I can't. So it waits. When Paul sings, I can't get enough of your love. It just doesn't chug along. You got to give it some space. Then the turnaround to that chorus, he goes up to the G on the 12th fret. We're going G, C, 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 G. And then go back to the beginning. Then it goes back into another verse, another pre-chorus, and another chorus. Same exact stuff, right? So there's the nuts and bolts of this song. Simple, effective, but brilliant in the same way. Now let's talk about this guitar solo, okay? The guitar solo is played over. All right, the first part of the solo is over C to F, and then it goes to a G, a B flat, E flat. So essentially the solo is over a little passage of the verse chords, the pre, and the chorus. It's just shortened a little bit. So what Mick does in the solo is he starts off in C major, and then he goes to kind of a G minor position, which is also in the C minor position as well, but he has to change, he has to modulate, and then he rides the solo out in a minor key. So he ends up in C minor. So he starts in C major, and he modulates up to C minor with a little bit of G minor in there. So let me show you what I'm talking about. So when he's going, he goes, so I'm playing it up here. You could go, you could play it down here also, but I like to play it up here because a lot of this solo is way up in this position. So it sounds like, when you listen to the tone of the record, when you listen to the way that the notes ring out, it sounds like he sounds like he's playing it on this D string. I could be totally wrong, but I'm just going by my ears. So anyway, we're up here on the 14th fret on the D, which is an E. That's our major third for the C. All right. So anyway, we're on this major third. We're going to pull off to this D and go up to this A, which is the 14th fret on the G string. So there's the C on the 15th fret on the A string, and then respond with this A up on the 14th fret on the G. So then repeat. I don't hear that A the second time, and then go. The second time he plays that phrase, he puts little harmony notes in this solo to kind of give support to these notes, and they're mixed and they're just ever so slightly. So the first pass he goes, and then the second time you hear this. So you hear this lightly, you hear in this G, when he's on this E, you hear this harmony, this third. So you could go, you can do it together on one guitar. But just very lightly, there's that harmony. All right, and I slide in, I go, little vibrato. Vibrato is very important. It makes it sound like the note singing. Now that second pass with a harmony, very subtle. All right, and then the chord switch to a G. He goes. So we're going to take this in small bites. So on this G, we're going to go. This is where he switches to G minor and then C minor. We're going to be up here in this. I'm just going to say it's C minor, even though I feel like he's playing G minor over this G. It's in the C minor position. So C minor pentatonic up here is like this. And then you go. This is a very, very popular pentatonic position for classic rock players in the 60s and 70s. A lot of Southern rock, a lot of early British rock, a lot of Led Zeppelin played this position. You see a lot of American blues players doing the C minor box shape, like there's your C. You always see this position. But in classic rock, you see that a lot because this bend right here. You go. It's just a really nice position to do stuff like that. So he's going to be up in this C minor position. So we're coming out of. And then we're going to be up here. So I'm on the 17th fret on the G string. And then he's going to do this fourth, which is the 17th fret on the D string. Or you can also go. You could just bring it down to the 15th. Doesn't really matter. And then he plays this note again. And you hear slightly a harmony right there on the 16th fret on the B string. So I'll play it in time and kind of give you an idea of what I'm hearing. So the very beginning. So that's what I'm hearing there. So now this last lick here, it goes. So I'm up on the 18th fret. I'm going to bend it on, it's on the B string. I'm going to bend it up a whole step. Like that. Lots of vibrato. Then, so how I'm getting that bend and that release in there is I'm going. It's a release and a pull off to the 16th fret on the B string. And then pick the G string on the 17th fret. Then it ends with that bend with vibrato. So we're going to go from the very beginning of that lick. And then he's going to do this. There's a definite harmony on the ending here. I listened to this like 8 or 9 times trying to decipher this harmony, and to my ears it sounds like he switches back to he kind of switches back to a C major here in a way. So we're going to go, and we're going to be on the 19th fret. We're going to bend it a half step up and release. So it's bend. Nice vibrato on there. Got to shake it. Sounds like a dying cat. And the bottom part is the 15th fret. And it's a full step bend. So it's going like you're bending it up to the 17th fret. So the very ending of that goes. Then guitar 1 and guitar 2. Then you go. Then he goes back into a verse. Okay, cool. Now at the very end of the song, there's some noodling going on, and Mick is up in this position. He goes. He does a lot of that stuff, so I'm not going to break that down identical to what he's doing because it's just fun blues licks, and you should not emulate that. If you're going to do this live, you should just go for it, man. But what he's doing, he's up on these top 3 strings, mostly G and B string. So if we're up here on the 19th fret, I'm sorry, the 18th fret on the B string, and bend it up a whole step, and release it down to the 16th, and then play the 17th on the G, and then go back up to the 16th fret, and just really milk those blues notes. You could definitely tell he was inspired by, like B.B. King and a lot of the legendary blues players of the time, because that's just, total B.B. King type licks in this. A less is more type approach, which is perfect for this song because really, kind of weird pentatonic shredding really would not fit this song in the least bit. Then you get the idea, right? So anyway, that is Can't Get Enough by Bad Company. I hope you liked the lesson. I hope it was helpful. I try to do 2 lessons a week if time permits. If you like this kind of content, please consider subscribing, comment below, and as always, have a great day. Peace out.